What up, guys? It's Spell Speed 4 YGO here, and I'm coming at you with my second place BODE case tournament Dragonmaid Dogmatika profile. So I'm gonna start off with the deck profile, and then I'll get into matchups and maybe one or two combos at the end. So starting off with the Dragonmaid engine, the engine that carries the deck that manages your grind game. We've got 3 chamber, 3 parlor, 3 kitchen, 1 tinkek, 1 lawpaw, 2 hospitality, 1 changeover, and 3 tidying. These two are your 1-card combos. They're both 1-card hieratic seals. This one's, you play it, it's probably the worst one to open though. You play these ones because you don't play the level 2, so there's no point playing the pink. And then you need targets for this. This card's broken. It's a monster reborn in a dump of a big dragon. The poly to get into your Omni, and then probably the strongest card in the deck, the trap that bounces a dragon card you control to bounce a card from your opponent's field or graveyard. So it's got a very niche interactions. It outs mine, and it can bounce Misk back to hand in the Dino matchup. So a very, very strong card. So next up we have the Dogmatika engine. So it's not usually something played with Dragonmaids, but the logic behind this was you really want engines that don't need your extra deck when you are playing Dogmatika past turn 1, and for the same reason you can play Extrav and Dragonmaids, like you can just use Chamber and loop Tidying. So you don't actually need your extra deck to set up more interruptions or to push for damage, because you just link it to the big dragons. So yeah. So most broken card in Yu-Gi-Oh right now, 3 Nadir's Servant. On its own is a +2, and then the fact that punishment is also a +2 is ridiculous. 2 Ecclesia. You play 2 instead of 1 because we're playing Titanic Lad in the extra deck, so your biggest objective is to send Titanic Lad off punishment rather than Intest, so you can special another Ecclesia and search another punishment. Just gives you a bit of a grind game in the engine itself. 1 Fleer, 2 punishment, super strong trap. And then the card that put in a lot of work over the weekend, Fallen of Elbaz. So the logic behind this is if you resolve Servant and send Titanic Lad, you can either search Fleer or summon this. So if you don't open a Dragonmaid by summoning this in the end phase, you make your Tidying live. And then if you can summon this off Seal and poly, so when Seal tributes itself to bounce and summons a dragon from your deck, if you can summon this and poly one of their monsters into a Titanic Lad, then on your turn you link the Titanic Lad and a Dragonmaid monster away into another Seal. Then you can search a Dogmatika engine with a Titanic Lad in the end phase. So really strong card. Also outs Dragoons. Again with the hieratic Seal play, if you summon Seal and use its effect to bounce, Seal's non-targeting, so they have to Dragoon negate it. Then you can use Seal's effect engrave to summon this, Seal's effect when tributed to summon this, and then poly away the Dragoon. Next up we have our hand trap lineup. Pretty standard, so 3 Ash, 3 Bell, 3 Imperm, and then we were on 2 Gamma and 1 Driver. It was a space thing, but also Gamma is bad to see in multiples, bad to draw late, but super high impact early. So yeah, 2 and 1. Bell was amazing all weekend. Protecting your Seal from Called By is super important. Called By or Crow. And then obviously negating the Tri-Brigade trap, negating virtual world cards. Lots of utility on this card. Next up we have, well, the power spells. So we played 2 droplets and 1 monster reborn. Basically your third hospitality, but slightly better because you can revive your Dogmatika engine as well, or you can take monsters from your opponent's graveyard. You need to run 2 hospitality because you need to be able to search that engine and keep it going, but you don't need to run 3. You'd rather open this, and if you open this and a hospitality, you can obviously use both because hospitality is only once per turn. On to the extra deck. 2 of one of the most broken cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! It's an Omni Negate that revives monsters during either player's standby phase. Gives you a lot of resources, and the fact that it's an Omni and super easy to make. Next up is To house, you need this to make this negate live, and this pops when cards return to hand. To seal, this is your extra deck. So basically, almost any of your Dragonmaids or one card combos into this. If you see a Reborn, then you can get into this as well. Really helps playing through hand traps as well. If you see the Reborns and a Dragonmaid, so you can normal search, they hand trap you, you link away, you Reborn, you make your seal, and then this is not only an interruption but your grind as well. One Striker Dragon, yeah, you need it for the combos, so like normal Chamber or Parlor, and then either search or dump a Reborn, and then link one into this and then bring it back, so it becomes one card seals. Also really decent with the Dogmatika engine, so if your normal of your maid gets hand trapped and you have the Dogmatika engine, you just link one into this and then your Dogmatika engine's live. The Dogmatika engine always does best with the link one target. Then for the punishment targets, 2 Titanic Lad and 2 Intes. You play 2 because you'll send one off the Nadirs, and then you'll dump the second one off the punishment if you can to search another punishment, just to give you a grind game of the Dogmatika engine alone. And then also a poly target for the Fallen of Ulbaz, with that player I explained a bit earlier. And the next are Ulbaz targets, quote-unquote super poly targets. So Mysterion, it takes a dragon and a spellcaster, so if you use Seal into Ulbaz, you can make this. And then with any spellcaster, so Dragoon or Altergeist even, anything you want. Super poly target, Chimera, Starving Venom Fusion, and Elysium for the Invoke Shaddoll matchup. So onto the side deck, I played 3 Super Polys, which is probably the reason I played this deck. There's a lot of dragon-based Super Poly targets at the moment, or cards that use dragons as material. And your big Dragonmaid actually uses one level 5 or higher dragon monster in any Dragonmaid, so it's really, really good at breaking boards. For example, normaling a Dragonmaid against a Virtual World matchup, and then polying into this using their Crystal Wing, or normaling a Dragonmaid against a Dragon Link and polying away the Hot Red Dragon Archfiend, or so lots of targets and lots of utility out of the Super Poly at the moment. And you're already playing all the targets because of Ulbaz. Next, 3 Droll and Lockbird for Drytron. 3 Diddy Crow as a generically good hand trap for when you want to see more than one hand trap against certain matchups, for example Drytron. And then 6 cards of back row removal. So on to matchups. I wound up playing round 1, I played a Lyreless Tri-Brigade, round 2 Salaman Great, round 3 Altergeist, this was my only loss in Swiss, round 4 Mech Knight Crusadia, round 5 Dragon Link, and round 6 I played against Virtual World. Then we went to Top Cut, where in round 1 I played Virtual World, and round 2 I played Tri-Brigade, which was the most awesome like Fallen of Ulbaz interaction, because I actually wound up hard drawing it, and he'd made access code and broken my board. Then I normaled it and set up a Revolt. So I normaled the Fallen of Ulbaz, polyed away the access code for the Titanic Lad, and then I had Reborns and Dragonmaid stuff engraved, so I specialed, then linked 2 into the seal, managed to search the special the Ecclesia in the end phase and search the Fleer, and that gave me the right number of interruptions for stopping the Tri-Brigade combo next turn. And then in the finals I played against Virtual World, and that was unfortunately a loss. Now just for a quick example of what you're kind of hoping to do with the deck. You kind of want to see part of your Dogmatika engine and part of your Dragonmaid engine, that's optimal. If you don't see parts of both engines, you just see one engine and hand traps, that's also fine because the engines operate like really well independently. So if you open, for example, Parlor and Ecclesia, but this could also be Chamber and Ecclesia, or Chamber and Nadir, Parlor and Nadir, any of these combinations, you can normal summon Parlor, use her effects to send a Tiding to the graveyard, then link her into the Striker Dragon, banish the Tiding to revive, link 2 into your Hieratic Seal, special your Ecclesia, search your punishment, and then of 2 cards there's obviously 2 interruptions, with both of these cards setting you up for your grind game. This card, you are either going to look to summon the Chamber or the Fallen of Elbaz if you need more interruptions. So if they're starting to combo through your stuff, then this becomes 1 for 2, and then Punishment can also send Intess as a 1 for 2 if you're not looking to set up your grind. And then, for example, if you see, instead of seeing hand traps with your remaining 3 cards, you see additional cards, you can usually use them to extend. So if, for example, you have another Chamber or another Maid in your hand instead of hand traps or instead of extending, when you normal this and send your Tiding, when you banish Tiding, it can special summon a Dragonmaid monster from your hand or graveyard. So you can banish to special, then you can use Chamber's effect to search another Tiding, which you can then set, then continue as you were, link 2 into the seal, special the Ecclesia, grab the Punishment, and then now for seeing more cards of your engine in your hand, you see more interruptions anyway, because now you have the Tiding bounce as well to back it up. If you're looking to grind, you're obviously going to tribute this and special summon a Chamber from your deck instead, and then Chamber will search your Hospitality. And if you're looking for more interruptions, then you tribute this and summon the Elbaz. Obviously, the objective of this deck, it is a mid-range deck, is to grind whenever possible, because it does outgrind your opponent very aggressively and very quickly. So yeah, if you can grind, look to grind, because that's how you're going to win your games. But if you're not in a position where you can grind, if they've opened really well or they're comboing through your board, at the very least all your cards are 1 for 2 interruptions, with Punishment being a pop 2 with Intess, and Seal being a bounce 1 and Super Poly 1, Tiding also being a bounce 1, and then it's also your grind game next turn. For shoutouts, I want to shout out Dragontown for hosting the event. It was an absolutely awesome turnout and great to start having a bigger Yu-Gi-Oh event in South Africa again. Shout out to Jasha, who won the tournament with Virtual World, and his YouTube channel, Team Flex Gaming. And then shout out to Rian and Tristan for helping me play test this deck.